Hey person here, and welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena. This is Historic Brawl week, so this week I'm going to be playing in Historic Brawl with all my Historic Brawl decks, showing them off for you on camera, no matter how bad or good they may be. They are obviously not going to be full strength because I don't have access to every card in Historic. There's a lot of cards to go over and I only came in at M20 times, so I've got a lot of stuff to catch up on in that regard, but with what I've got, I've tried to build the strongest deck I could. So today we're playing Feather the Redeemed, a card that many people from Standard will be familiar with in the past. Well, before Throne of Eldraine came in, Power crept it, of course. But Feather the Redeemed is a legendary angel which, when you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature you control, exile that card instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. If you do, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. So basically, this card allows you to take advantage, abuse the one card per deck restriction in Brawl and Commander by letting you use your instances of sorceries multiple times in the same game, which can be a bit overpowering and a bit unfair for some of your opponents. That's the idea behind this deck. So we've taken the template of a previous Boris Feather standard deck and expanded it to include all stuff in his Historic and a lot of stuff we can use to abuse the effect. So before we go any further, I want to mention that personally, Commander is my favourite Magic the Gathering format, but with the lack of Commander on Arena, Historic Brawl is the closest thing we have, so I'm going to be taking advantage of this as much as possible. So we have a lot of 1 mana stuff in this deck because we want to make things as cheap as possible. So first we have Ally Invasion, which allows us to pump our creatures, but it also acts as protection, so we can return target creature to our opponent's hand. Also good for protecting Feather. It means that we can then not have to pay commander tax for Feather, which has got an awkward mana cost to get out. We then have Defiant Strike to drawing cards, Fighter's 1 for protection, Gird for battle for putting +1/+1 counters on 2 target creatures. We want to have Feather and someone else out if possible. God's Willing for more protection, Selfless Savior for more protection as a creature this time, and Take Heart, which is just another 1 mana pump spell really. Those are the white ones. We also have Barge In for red, Infuriate, Maximize Velocity, Reckless Rage, which is the most important card in our deck. If we can recycle this, it's pretty much going to be really hard for our opponent to break through because it does 4 damage to one of their creatures and 2 damage to one of ours. And most of our creatures are able to deal with that, so that would be pretty good, especially one of them later on. We also have Summit Sprint for scrying, and also Storm Strike for the same purpose. Onto the 2-drops. We try to minimise the pump spells here because we want them to be as cheap as possible, but we do have a Danto Vanguard and Seasoned Hallowblade because they're just really broken cards and have inbuilt protection effects, so they're really good against opponents' removal. Burning Prophet, where whenever we cast a non-creature spell, it gets pumped, and we also get to scry for more. So really important we get as much scrying as possible in this deck because we want to fix our draws and try and get through to all of our spells as possible, because we don't really need to be playing that many lands to go off in this deck really. Dreadhorde Arcanist allows us to also be able to recycle our spells, this time from the graveyard, should we not have Feather in play, so that's a really good option. And so that also works really well with pump spells, because if we put a pump spell on Dreadhorde Arcanist, then we get more options as to what we can cast. Go for Blood acts as another form of removal, where target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. It's a targeted removal spell, very important in this deck. Similarly, Windrock Knight has the Boulder Rush half on its instant part. We play it for the adventure really, where target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Justice Strike, where target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. 10th District Legionnaire, one of the best targets it's for any of our spells because it gets a +1/+1 counter every time you cast a spell on it. So basically, with Reckless Rage and 10th District Legionnaire, this thing just constantly pumps and grows bigger while you destroy all of your opponent's creatures. At least in theory, that is. Arcane Signet is going to be in every Historic Brawl deck this week, so this basically allows you to add 1 mana in any of colour of your commander's colour identity. Staple in Brawl, really. Shatter Skull Smashing, which is because it can be a land, but also has an option for removal, so might as well include it. In the 3 mana slots, we have Basri Ket and Gideon Backblade as planeswalkers that can help our other creatures to help them to break through. Skyclave Apparition for more removal. Krenko, because if we use our targeting spells on it, it just creates a ridiculous board state. Really good card, Krenko. Legion Warboss also creates additional tokens, so it's not quite as good as Krenko in this deck, but it's still a pretty good card, and it can also pump the tokens if necessary. We also have Spell Gorger Weird because it just grows every time we cast a spell. No need to elaborate on that. Anax Harden of the Forge is in here to protect our creatures and give us tokens, because we do kind of need our creatures, and if we don't have the pump spells for whatever reason, then, well, there's problems there. We also have Hero the Nyxborn, who has a targeting effect where if you cast a spell that targets it, all your creatures get +1/+0. And it also creates a token when it enters the battlefield, so we're playing that over other potential options in that regard. We also have Tao's Legion's Edge, which has Haste and Mentor, and it has a really good effect where you prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control, so really good protection there on attack. We also have Smothering Tithe because we're playing white, so might as well. It's a staple in Commander, so we might as well run it in Historic Brawl. Are you going to pay for Smothering Tithe? I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. One Aurelia Exemplar of Justice, which has a really good ability to be able to pump anything and then give it either Vigilance or Trample. So, yeah, really good card, and it can give itself the effect of 2, and it has flying built in, so really nifty effect and flexible if necessary. One Outlaw's Merriment because the card is just broken dumb. It creates a token every single turn, and although the token is random, but you're blanking a lot of your opponent's removal just by getting to waste stuff on a token when you're just going to get stuff back instantly and continue applying the pressure. Also, we have Integrity in Intervention because there's a flexible pump spell. We play it most for the Integrity part, but Intervention also has the option for removal, albeit at 4 mana. And then we have Response Resurgence, which is a removal spell on the first half, but Resurgence gives you an additional combat phase, so could be unexpected for pushing through to getting game. And then we have a Mirror's Call for the final non-land cards, although there's also a land which we're primarily playing it for, but we have the option for the angel creature tokens with flying. Now, unfortunately, this will not protect Feather and Aurelia, but it does give us a lot more angels on board, I guess. So we also have for the lands, 1 Castle Ardenvale, 5 Plains, 1 Secluded Steppe for cycling, 1 Castle Embereth, 1 Forgotten Cave, Mountains, Ramanap Ruins because it's a good card, Needle Verge and Pillar Verge Pathway, Sacred Foundry, Temple of Triumph, Windscarred Crag, Command Tower, Evolving Wilds, Fabled Passage, and Terramorphic Expanse. So that is the deck profile. I'm going to go forward to be playing in some Historic Brawl games, so I shall see you in just a moment. This deck may not win a single game, but we will try our hardest to do so. So let's enter the arena! Interesting, where it gets a Ghalta Primal Hunger deck, not something you see every day. This is an okay hand, apart from the fact we don't have access to white, but we can use the Evolving Wilds to fetch it, I guess. Hopefully we can draw into another land. We probably hopefully to try and get to if we get another land, things will be good. Should be able to, I hope so. Fingers crossed. I may have kept a bad hand here. We're just going to drop the Evolving Wilds first, and then activate its ability to get ourselves a Plains. And they're going to go through Once Upon a Time to get Castle Garenbrig. Once Upon a Time, of course, is still legal in Historic Brawl. Banned in Standard and Historic, I believe. So, yeah, that's... but out 1 copy, it's still... It's doable, I guess. We have Rimrock Knight here, I guess. We could probably just play this out as a creature so that we have something to target with. We've got plenty of other targeting spells, and it can't exactly be recycled with Feather, so we go with Elvish Visionary. we're currently missing some things there. We're going to go ahead and attack with Rimrock Knights. We have ally evasion to protect if necessary. And we're going to do just that. So there goes Elvish Visionary. No ramp for you. Here comes Jade Light Ranger. Considerable value from that. And we're still without a land. Okay, it's problematic, to say the least. We're still going to attack Rimrock Knight and then try and use God's Willing to protect it. There's another land, good. So yeah, good thing we used God's Willing there, because now we know for sure we've got a land coming up. Thrashing Bronzeball. Okay, well we're going to go ahead and put Feather down now. And say no attacks. Nobody has dealt any damage whatsoever. We've been trading a few blows. And they're considerably ahead on mana, because if they get Ghalta out of you... Wow, that's going to make it much easier for them to get to Ghalta out now, isn't it? Here's Nissa, who shakes the world. Gonna make a 3/3, and she's gonna cast Nissa's Triumph.
Together we will prevail.
What's the extra effects? So you should be able to search for 3 land cards. Ooh, Krenko, but I think we want to go ahead to yeah, we'll cast Krenko, why not? And go ahead and attack Nissa.
I will endure.
So this will take 2 more hits because they'll plus on this turn. Do they ever have? Oh, do they ever have to cast Ghalta? If they do, then that could be problematic to say the least.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Got to 8 mana now. Yeah, they're definitely casting Ghalta this turn. Ghalta is currently costing them not that much actually. But it's going to get Beast Whisperer out. So Ghalta's just 2 mana now. And they got a Carnage Tyrant too. This is ridiculous. Probably should have put a board wipe in here. Sheesh! That is busted! Does anything I've reached? Because that could be problematic. No blocks. Okay, so we're dead on board next turn unless we can answer something. Outlaw's Merriment is not what we needed. I think we're going to go ahead and just concede because they're going to defeat us next turn. Oh well. So yeah, probably should have considered putting a board wipe or 2 in the deck. I might make a couple of changes between rounds and then we'll go into the next game. Hopefully a bit better equipped to deal with things, so I shall see you in just a moment. Okay, I made a couple of changes to the deck. I put in Deafening Clarion and Shatter the Sky in place of Rimrock Knight and Anax. So we're going to go ahead. We've got a few more lands, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this. So we're going to go ahead and put a Windscarred Crag down. We're against a Gishath deck, so more dinosaurs that we're facing against. I might as well do my own dinosaur video at some point. I did promise it in Kitchen Table Jank after all, so we'll drop this and then we'll go into Arcane Signet. So far a good curve. We can cycle Secluded Step if we want to, but it's in our opening hand, so we might as well play it as a land, because we might need be. We were too slow on lands last game and that really cost us in the long run, so They're going to go ahead and reveal Raging Raptors to search for a basic land card. And then we've also drawn Sacred Foundry. What we're actually going to do though is cast Feather the Redeemed. And then we're going to go ahead and use Maximize Velocity on it, which we can then recycle with Feather later on. Because that's totally fair and balanced. So what will the dinosaur player do? I'm going to cast a Rampaging Ferocidon, so we cannot gain life anymore. So we're going to start cast Tajic. We are taking one as a result. We're going to go ahead and put the Sacred Foundry down, just so that we can go and. Now Tajic's already got haste anyway, so it's What we want to do is go ahead and cast Salat Sprint on Tajic. We want to try and get its power higher than Feathers, so that when it uses Mentor ability, we can. Ooh, Krenko, nice. And go Infuriate. Okay, so now we'll go attack with both creatures, and Tajic's Mentor will activate and will be plus Feather. And they scoop to that. Oh boy. Well, we actually win a game, but the use of Tajic's Mentor ability to boost Feather was not something they like the look of whatsoever. It's going to be a very short episode, I feel, because I was really planning to do about 3 games, but we might be able to squeeze in a 4th now because they scoop so early. We'll have to see how the next game goes. For all I know, the next one could be an absolute marathon. So, see you guys in just a moment. On to game 3, and we're against Kenrith the Return King. We've got effectively 3 lands in hand because of Shatter Skull Smashing, so we're going to keep this. We also have the exact mana cost for Feather, so that's always good. We'll go ahead and play a Plains so we can play Selfless Saviour. They're going to play Temple of Plenty. Kenrith is particularly dangerous because he has all 5 colours effectively in duel, so they can play any card in the game. We'll put Secluded Step down and attack the Selfless Saviour. Next turn we'll play Feather and we can protect it with the Selfless Saviour so that we can then start recycling our instants and sorceries. So we'll play Feather now. Waiting to see what they do. They're going to go ahead and Kenrith himself is 5 mana, so they'll be using a Beanstalk Giant to help with that, I guess. They don't really play anything else though. They really need to, because we're already up and running with our strategy. They've got blue available now. We put down Ramanap Ruins, because why not? Legion Warboss is going to come on down and get God's Willing open if necessary. And we're going to en masse attack them. They need to get the defense down sooner rather than later, but we have mana open for God's Willing, so that's good. They're going to play an Arcane Signet. We do have enough mana for Kenrith as things stand, but they're going to cast Uro because they need some more stuff. Hard times, I guess. Still, we're in a really good position right now, so I think we need to press home our advantage. So actually, I'm gonna go not play. I'm gonna play Shattered Skull Smashing as a land, and then we're gonna play Smothering Tithe. Oh, and I guess I've screwed myself over and be able to use stuff. So we're gonna use Maximize Velocity to pump our Legion War Boss. We're going to go and pump this token. If they try to take out Feather, we've got Selfless Savior to protect it. Are you going to pay for Smothering Tithe? They, of course, don't know that we have God's Willing in hand. And Smothering Tithe is going to tax them as well, so in actual fact we can use God's Willing this turn after all. Unintended consequences. They cannot cast Uro this turn, but I don't believe they have anything but Uro in their graveyard. They're looking at trying to remove something. Shattered Skull Smashing, right, okay, that's someone did not realise that by making it indestructible they just effectively wasted it. And they scoop. Well, I think they realised their mistake and proceeded to concede, so yeah, that was a very one-sided game. Admittedly, my opponent did not get much going at all, but yeah, this deck will be pretty good when it gets going. You know what, I think we can squeeze in one more game before we wrap it up, so I'll see you in the next game. Last game for the day, and we're against the Gitrog Monster. Ooh. However, we do have a pretty good hand, so I'm going to keep this. We're going to go ahead and play a Sacred Foundry tapped, since we don't have anything to play this turn. Next turn, we're going to play a Danto Vanguard. I'm going to use Once Upon a Time. I mean, you might as well include it in every green deck in the format because it's just that good. We'll go ahead and now play our Danto Vanguard. I'm going to play a Leafkin Druid. We're going to now play Feather. Attack with a Danto Vanguard. They don't block, so we'll go ahead and hit them for free. Here's a Fiend Artisan, so that's going to be really good in Brawl format because it allows you to choose in a card in a format with lots of singletons, so that's pretty useful. We're going to put down a Forgotten Cave. I really want to cast Smothering Tithe, but I don't think we can, so we're just going to have to leave stuff in our hand. What we're going to do is Samet Sprint on Feather. Do we need more land? I don't think we do. So yeah, we're going to cast Smothering Tithe here, and that will help generate some tokens. So yeah, we're in a good position now. We have both Fighters 1 and God's Willing in hand, and we can use them quite easily. They're already down to 13. So you see, quite aggressive deck this. It's able to recycle its resources. Let's see. Will they try and remove our stuff? They probably won't try and go for the Adanto Vanguard because we can pay 4 life. Or maybe they will. Now, if we look at the Gitrog Monster, it does say that at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the Gitrog Monster unless you sacrifice a land. You may play an additional land on each of your turns, and when one or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, draw a card. So this goes well with a lot of landfall mechanics and stuff like Crucible of Worlds. So it's a really, really popular commander, so which is probably why they added it to Arena. I believe it's a Brawl exclusive as well. Yeah, its logo is that of Shadows over Innistrad, which is not on Arena yet. Here he is! And here's Lotus Field, which has a bit of a particularly broken interaction. So, whenever you sacrifice lands, you get to draw cards. So, yeah. But I think we can still do well in this, so... It's in the end step right now, so no point in using our stuff. We put Secluded Step down. And cast Smothering Tithe. Then we're going to go ahead and just attack with Just Feather, because although Adanto Vanguard can be indestructible, we're attacking with 6/6 potentially. So we're going to tax all of their card draw and hopefully get a few tokens so we can use Fighters 1 or God's Willing to protect our stuff. Are you going to pay for Smothering Tithe? Are you going to pay for Smothering Tithe? This could be quite annoying for them. Smothering Tithe a decent counter to the Gitrog Monster, although they do get to play 2 lands per turn, so there is that. And they're going to cast Enray's Forerunners. Ouch! Is that enough to KO me? I don't think it is. 8, 15, 18, 21. They're going to be just short. And at any rate, we are going to go ahead and block with... we're going to block Gitrog Monster with a dance... No, actually, I think we can kill something actually if we just go with... let's have a look. Yeah, we'll kill these Incasted. Trenko, nice, but I think I want to get something else, but... Then we're also going to have God's Willing to protect us from green. I don't want to pay 4 life at this instance when we're facing a massive amount of damage. Dreadhawk Arcanist, sweet. See, can we survive? Down to 6. Okay, so we need to be able to deal 10 damage to this turn. We have 6 power on board. Can we increase that in any way? Fighters 1 will buff one of them to a considerable amount. Going for battle, but we don't really have any way to draw it. Aurelia, I guess, can... It might be too late, actually. So there we go. Yeah, we're going to have to pay the full life. Good game. Yeah, unfortunately, Enray's Forerunners is a busted card, so yeah, we lose the game. Actually, I'm just going to let them us. We might as well. Are you going to pay for Smothering Tithe? Oh, we still have Smothering Tithe actually, so there's potential for that.
Are you going to pay for Smothering Tithe?
Happen. Still, I mean, quest. Okay, that's pretty hard to really do anything about. Because now they've just got even more power on board, so we're potentially blocking a 2/2 Fiend Artisan, but they're going to sacrifice another creature. We're going to a Murderous Rider. Interesting. I'm not sure if that's what they intended, but they have a lot of power on board, so yeah, we'll go to not a lot we can do really. We can block the Invasive Forerunners, but that's trample. And we can't block the Questing Beast anyway, so yeah. It didn't matter anyway. I was just letting them play this out, so we're going to protect from green. Good game. I suppose we couldn't win them all anyway, even with the modified version of the deck, but we did pretty well. 2 wins, 2 defeats, so I think that's an acceptable performance from this deck, so I'm going to go ahead to the wrap-up. So yeah, about probably what you expect from a Boros deck really. We won quickly and we lost quickly. Indeed, it didn't put very many creatures on the battlefield for us to be able to overwhelm our opponents, but we still did a bit anyway. And obviously with the tweaks by adding Deafening Clarion and Shatter the Sky, they never really came into play, but the all-star of the deck I think was actually Smothering Tithe. It was surprisingly more effective than I thought it would be in this deck because we're not really ramping into anything, but we are creating additional treasures to be able to use our pump spells more than one time. So we could cast it on curve and still have mana left over to protect our stuff. So actually pretty good overall. We were taxing some decks like the Gitrog Monster and such. So yeah, we won 2 and we lost 2. Unfortunately, with it seems like the deck didn't do very well against green in particular and all the ramp they had on offer. But I suppose that's to be expected from a Boros deck. You can't have it all really. Anyway, that's it for the first episode of Historic Brawl Week. Sorry if the format is a bit all over the place in this video. I'm still trying to refine what I'm going to do with this going forward. So hopefully future videos will be of a higher quality. Anyway, if you think this video was any good anyway, then thank you for watching. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel so you can get updates on future videos and hit that notification bell. Also share the video with your friends so we can get more people watching this. Also follow me on Twitter at generic_aperson, all one word. Thank you for watching. I've been A Person. Goodbye.